Director and Photography Editor, and I'm here today at Abbey Road with the Abbey Road Music Photography Awards to break down a photo shoot. I'm here with Ed Miles.
Hello, hi.
And we're going to show you what goes into making a photograph. So you've all seen a music photograph, but what is the anatomy of it? What is a pre-production? What is the creative? How do you work with artists?
I'm going to show you how to light a music shoot, the editing process and the post-production.
So come on in.
Yeah, I like that. In fact, so
This is all.
Lola, lovely to meet you. How you doing?
Paul. It's Isa.
Isa, hiya. You're right.
Jamela.
Jamela. Nice to meet you.
Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Abbey Road. I'm Marian Paterson. I'm a photography director and editor. And this is Ed Miles, a music photographer. Well, actually, music and fashion photographer.
Yes.
Who I've been working with for years and years. Today we're here to present for you a skills workshop where we hope to share our skills so you can be inspired, pick up some tips and actually see what it's like to be on set with an artist and work with lighting and film crews and really be in the heart of what it's like to be in a photo shoot. This is just to show how Ed works and to show how I work. Then you can pick up some tips and then you can put it into your own process and develop and grow as photographers yourself.
Just to introduce you as well to my lighting assistant here. This is Dan.
Hey Dan.
And also this is James, my digi-op guy. But Dan's responsible for doing all the lights, setting the lights up and everything, and Dan is responsible for all the digi-operating. We, without going too in depth, it's basically he's behind this umbrella here. He's got a laptop. This is Capture One exactly. Yeah. Is pretty much sort of industry sort of standard software. You take a picture on the camera and it's fed through this cable here, which is a tether, and that goes straight into Capture. And then from here it goes straight to the monitor. Not only can you see what it obviously looks like, but also it's quite good, I find, for the talent to be able to see what they're doing as well. It's quite good. In the old days they used to have like mirrors and stuff set up so they could actually see what they were doing, so it's also very handy for that. So the backdrop we've got today is a paper backdrop called a colorama, and it comes with a background support system here, which is what basically holds it up. And then you, generally speaking, you make sure you don't unravel it until you unravel it a little bit, and then you take it up and then you roll it out. This is called a scoop. Yeah, sorry.
Why is it that you do it in this shape where it's just kind of curving?
So this, as you can see, with a scoop, what happens is that the shadows can kind of like fade off a lot easier.
Okay, yeah.
Than, and they look a lot more pleasant than if it's kind of hitting a hard seam.
So the point of having a backdrop is that you can isolate the subjects from the location. So we've in effect created a photo studio here, and the focus will be on our subjects rather than all the business that's going on in the background. For our third shot, we are going to move through to Studio 3. For that, the background and the instruments and the location is actually part of the shot, so we want that to be in the shot. But for this, these two first shots, they're actually more about the talent. So we're shooting an artist called Junior Williams and Victoria Ports. They're both really soulful, jazzy, amazing singers and artists. It's good to, when you're coming up with concepts, really work with them, or if you can't speak to them yourself, to do loads of research, listen to the music, read as many interviews as you can with them, and then when you present them with a whole load of ideas and mood boards, hopefully they will say yes. With Victoria and Junior, we were really, really lucky because they think so visually, and they sent me absolutely loads of photographs. So I put them on a mood board and I added some of my own. So these are some of the images that Victoria and Junior shared with me, and I added in a few of my own, but can you see it's all very 70s vibe. They really like this yellow colour and these sorts of really rich, very warm colours. So then what I did was, these are just some more poses.
I know.
And then these were just some ideas for lighting the backdrop. So can you see we've got this sort of vignette in the middle, because with these coloramas sometimes they can be really flat. So Eddie, we wanted to do something that had a bit more dimension to it, didn't we? And it really focuses on the artists, with this little vignette in the middle.
Adds depth, doesn't it?
Exactly, exactly. So then what I did was I shared, you can get coloramas in loads and loads of different colours. So I looked at what they sent and I said, okay, you can choose any of these. And they chose this one, which is why we've ended up with it.
Yeah.
So our first shot we're doing is them on this backdrop here. So we'll do them solo and then we'll do them all together, and that will be more of a full length.
Yeah.
Maybe some sitting on the floor. Junior especially, when he sings, he uses his hands a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So the references he sent through, I think without him being conscious of it, had a lot of hands in, which I noticed. So I put in some of my own images, and he wants some of these in black and white. So that's fine. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
he does. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So we've got a thing called a pose table. So you can ask people to, do this, but if you have a pose table, they can lean on it, and they've got it's something to interact with, and they can be more relaxed while they're posing. So we'll do some shots like this. So that's shot 2. There's Junior there. So can you see with his hands? Yeah. So he's got loads of nice rings, and to the stylist we said, can you make sure they've got bangles and stuff on their hands for those shots. So that's shot 2. And then for setup 3, we're going to move through to the live room, which is because they're doing a recording session straight after this. So that's set up with all instruments and microphones. So we'll go through into there. And these again were some references that Junior Victoria sent through. So these will be less posed, more sort of documentary style, a bit more naturalistic shots.
And will you be using the light that's in the room or bringing it
Very
home?
good question.
Yeah.
Ed?
So I'll be just using the light that's already in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that you picked
Yeah.
up on that. Really good. And then lastly, again using ambient light, because we are at Abbey Road, extremely historic recording studio, to reference back to the history and just how wonderful it is that they've welcomed us into this space today. We'll take them outside and we'll do some shots on the steps. So yeah, that's the aim of today.
I spoke to Junior on Zoom before we did this, which was really important. And I knew straight away that he had a very sort of strong sort of visual language, to his work, which was brilliant, as Marian said. It was, so he's brought all that in. So he's very eager. It's obviously a very collaborative thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and we know that we both want to make, sort of beautiful pictures, basically. Generally 2 types of lighting, flash, that's what we're using, and continuous. So you've got LED, things like this now these days. But we're obviously using flash. The reason for that is because at some point I'd like to get Victoria and Junior kind of quite animated. And I'll be able to capture that, and the flash would just freeze that moment, that movement. So that's the reason for the flash. We've got, again, the mood board, going back to what Marian was saying about the mood board, so important to get this right. So I do. Some photographers don't like working that way. They don't really even use, the mood board just goes out the window. I mean, on the mood board, you've obviously got your concept, your general concept, then you have the talent, and then you have things like hair and makeup. All the looks should be really sort of framed in a mood board, so you know what the talent's going to be wearing for the first shot, for the second shot, and for the third shot, and what the makeup's going to be for each shot. Blah blah blah. All the outfits are Polaroided, along with makeup ideas for each outfit. So that's and that should all be in your mood board. So at least, okay, things change along the way, obviously, but at least you've got your core thing there, and whatever you get, extras you get from that is a bonus. Yeah.
Because you've got like a static setup with the flash.
Yes.
1, are you shooting at a high shutter speed then for the whole thing, and 2, you keep your settings the same for the whole thing while you're in the shot?
Generally, yeah, but like I said, I do like to mix things up a bit. So another sort of key or core idea for this shoot, part of the concept, was to use movement and some filters as well, which we'll go into later, which is where things and settings change quite a lot. So obviously, yeah, like you said, we're on a fast shutter speed at the moment to capture that, freeze that movement. But later on, we'll be doing some what I call flash and blur. So we're shooting at a very sort of long exposure, which will kind of like blur everything, and the flash will freeze a little bit of it,
Nice.
which I really like. I really like doing. Again, you'll see that.
Mm.
So yeah, so this light here, the key, what I call it's called a key light, is basically your front light. This is called a Photech reflector. It's just gives you a very sort of soft, almost kind of like daylighty sort of tones look. So which is what again fits in with the mood board and the sort of concept and the sort of like 70s sort of feel.
I just asked what size that one was.
So this size here, 60. This is 60 inches. And you do get different, it's inside. So I don't know if you can see in there, it's white. They do a silver one as well. But we've got white because we want it to be really soft. Silver's obviously highly reflective and gives you a kind of stronger look. So this is our key light. And it'll give you like a sort of like a window daylighty sort of vibe, basically. You can see here, again, this is very different to the laptop actually in terms of look, but that's our general. So no sort of really harsh kind of shadows anywhere, particularly on this. So then we've got these two side lights here that you call clip lights, and they're again on white umbrellas. So the umbrella shaped things are called brollies in the business. And then the way they're set up at the moment, so as you can see, they're slightly angled away from the backdrop. So they'll hit the side of the talent here, either side, just to create what they call a clip light. So as you can see, it's all you can see it a bit very subtly there. It just gives it a bit of dimension, so it kind of lifts them off the background a bit, makes them a bit more 3D, if you see what I mean, so it's not completely sort of flat. Yes?
Why does one say 5.8 and one says 6?
Because the way that we shot it on Dan was that Dan, I think, was slightly closer to this light.
Okay.
So because there's going to be Victoria and Juno are going to be here, there's going to be two of them at some point. We'll shoot solos and then shoot them together, is that they'll basically be central, and then hopefully both lights go back to the same settings, and they'll have the equal amount of clips. No, you do it manually.
You manually do
Yeah,
it. Okay,
so it's literally just this dial here. The last light is this one back here. This purpose for this light is just fills in the shadows a little bit. So you can see around here, without this light on, the shadows under the nose and around the chin and stuff like that would be a lot stronger. It just fills in all the shadows a little bit. Yes?
Do you always use Pro-Photo lights?
No, not always. I sometimes use ELLE as well, but Pro-Photo is much better, and because of its, I mean, it's just a lot more reliable. It's got a better colour, consistent colour thing on it as well, and they're just more reliable.
Oh, back to the mood board.
Yeah.
Will that also help you at any point? Do you ever like go blank on like what pose to do?
Yeah, a lot actually. But then I've kind of got a standard, like a go-to kind of set of like procedures, if you like, in those situations that are kind of, you know, like I say, I really like doing the flash and blur anyway. I mean, these things kind of go in and out of fashion, if you like.
When you're shooting with motion blur, do you have a specific idea of your settings already, or do you? Would you test it and then?
No, I do. But obviously now these days with film and stuff, it's a lot harder. You're less able to kind of like obviously see what you're getting. A lot of times in these situations, you have time to Polaroid things a lot of the time. So, but with digital, easy as pie. You know, you just kind of like, okay, too much blur, bring the blur back in. You can just do it instantly, you know.
And part of my job is to make sure we run to time. We've got 1 minute.
Right, okay, 1 minute.
Do you need to do any more tests? Do you want to do a shot of one of these guys?
Yes,
Does
let's do a
anybody
shot.
want to be a guinea pig?
Paul, is that right?
Paul's
Go on,
on
Paul. Cool. Great.
Yeah?
Okay. So let's do a quick test shot then, Paul. And that's great. Just front onto me. Yeah, lovely. Through the lens. That's nice. And 1, 2, 3. Now, great. Maybe bring your hands up, actually. That's great.
What do you do when you're shooting someone with glasses and reflections and stuff?
Yeah,
do you try and edit it in post, or do you try it when you're okay?
Yeah. I mean, you do learn over time that there's certain angles that makes it worse. Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, it all makes sense really. You get what you see. So,
Yeah.
if you can see any of the reflectors or the monitor in the glasses, you know, obviously it's going to show in the shot. So, but I do find that if you bring your head up just slightly, it generally gets rid of, unless you've got like a really high top light, it does get rid of most reflections.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Oh, that's nice, James.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just getting like a little preset ready.
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
want to see like,
Yeah.
maybe a bit more of a vignette for the black and white one, and then should we do let's do a group shot. You'll all have to get quite tight, so
Yeah.
obviously we don't have much. All shuffle up
way?
this way a little bit,
Oh,
stage
this way.
left.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's great. Hold that. I'm going to have to be more. Great. Hold that. And 1, 2, 3. Lovely.